I didn't hear.
Oh. Well, it's recording. All right, welcome to our chakra class. I'm going to go ahead, Ayla, and make you the host.
Okay.
I think I can do that. Yeah. Okay, cool. So if other people are joining us, awesome. Welcome tonight to our chakra and Reiki essential oil class. We do weekly classes on Wednesdays where we do some continued education. So our intention of this class is for people who have already had an experience with essential oils. Hopefully you have your starter kit already, you've gone to a 101 class, but if you're brand new, that's totally okay. And we're still going to talk about some of the basics as we go along. You can feel free to ask questions throughout. We'll introduce ourselves, but we do these classes every Wednesday. So thanks for joining us. My name is Brittany Pio. I have been with doTERRA since 2018. I've been doing the business for a couple of years, and my background is in holistic health. I've been a massage therapist and in that industry for about a decade. So I've always been gravitating towards a more holistic lifestyle, more natural products. And essential oils initially came into my life to clean up my household, to swap out toxins and really start to reduce that toxic load. But really quickly, I started sharing them with my friends and with my clients. So it just made sense and it sort of organically grew. And then once I got to know this community, I was hooked, and I've been addicted to using oils ever since. They've really helped me improve my health. I've got to share that with a lot of clients over the years. And I also teach as a professor of massage therapy in a college in Central New York at SUNY Morrisville. And I am really lucky to have that background and experience in traditional Chinese medicine and Eastern ways of doing things. So I love to be able to combine that type of information with the oil. So I'm just really excited to teach and share with you all tonight alongside Ayla. And so Ayla, you can go ahead and introduce yourself. I know some people are still coming in the waiting room. I'll watch that.
My name is Ayla Martin. I'm currently in Afton, New York. I'm a certified dental assistant and also spend half my year in the Caribbean working on sailboats as well. But my true passion lies in everything holistic healing. I'm certified in Reiki too, and as an essential oil specialist. So that's what I am here for tonight, to teach you guys a little bit about Reiki and the use of essential oils. And I've been with doTERRA for about 6 years now and have been doing the business actively for a little over 1.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share our screen here. And hopefully, Ayla, you can still see if people come in the waiting room, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
Yep.
Lovely, lovely. So we are going to talk to you about chakras and how it's going to look. We're going to go through and explain what the chakras are, go through each one and share with you different essential oils that you can use to increase your vibration, enhance your mood, see how this all ties into our physical well-being, and just give you some tips and tricks along the way. There is a lot to learning about chakras and energy, and I've been studying it for the past decade, and I still feel like every time it just makes more and more sense, and there's so much to it. So we're really just going to give you an intro, tip of the iceberg. If you've ever practiced yoga before or experienced Reiki, or even done meditations, you've probably heard some of this stuff come up before, or the term. So hopefully after tonight, you have a better sense of empowerment and how you can use your chakra system and bring it into balance and just be your highest self within that. So quite literally, chakras translate to wheel. to spinning wheels, spinning vortices of energy. And they're responsible for the energy that we give and receive. And since energy can never be created or destroyed, it's always that transfer and transformation of energy. So this is a part of our spiritual body. We will see that the chakras do show up in our physical body and correlate to how we feel physically, how we show up emotionally, how we interact with the world around us. And one of my favorite books that I've read on chakras over the years is this book called Eastern Body, Western Mind. We'll share this link later on after the class is done. This was a really long book. I mean, it's like 500 plus pages, and it took me quite some time to get through. And I was just telling Ayla, I would love to go back and read it again. And it ties in with just how these really show up physically in our body. And as we age, from the time that we're conceived throughout when we're infants and childhood and teenagers, our chakras are developing just like the rest of our body, and our brain and our mind is developing. Our chakras are developing along with us. And there can be moments in our life that we close down those chakras, or we've been told certain things, or we've had traumatic experiences, and quite literally those wheels can get blocked. And if so, if we're looking at the wheel that should always be somewhat spinning, if it gets blocked or starts going in like the wrong direction, we'll also experience physical and emotional symptoms that show up along with where that chakra is located. So I just always find it so empowering to use tools like these and to coincide with whatever else we're doing. And so like some of this stuff is maybe going to really resonate with you, and other things it's like, yeah, not right now. And that's really okay. I love to be able to blend what we know with modern science and this ancient wisdom. And this has been around for a really, really long time. Ayurvedic medicine, yoga, the science of yoga has been around for thousands of years. And it's just really interesting how all of this information came about. Like, we think we're so far advanced with technology, and we are, but then to just hear about this ancient wisdom always just blows my mind. I'm such a nerd about it, and I love to share it, and it makes so much sense. And when we start to put all of this together, it just becomes even more empowering for ourselves. And we can shift from maybe like a victim mentality to a more empowered state where we're able to look at some of the physical symptoms or the emotional signs that we have and figure out ways that we can naturally work to raise our vibration, to tap into that self-healing power that we all have. And yeah, we can also lean into our essential oils, lean into modern medicine, and just use all the things. So I think we can create such a great marriage of this old and new sort of wisdom and science. So 6 of these chakras actually are located right up along the spine. And the 7th chakra is beyond our physical body. The crown chakra, it's the crown of the head. So that one's kind of like floating right above our head, but it's still touching within us too. The picture on the screen does a good job with that. And then also the chakras are associated with our nerve plexuses. So this is where, when we start to think about modern science, and the nervous system is really something we've only known about for a short amount of time when, as far as history is concerned. And when you start to see the patterns of the nervous system and the chakras, and how like our emotions are associated with our nervous system, how pain can show up in those ways, it's just all really interesting. And it starts to be like, well, this really does make a lot of sense. So let's go through the chakras one by one, starting with the first chakra, which is our root chakra. So this is located right at the base of your spine, as low as it goes. And this area of our body is connected and correlated with survival and security. So we purposely put these slides together so you could take screenshots of each one. We can also share the slides with you as well, but it's just, they're pretty wordy slides, but intentionally so that way you can get all of your information. So the color associated with this is the color red. And so surrounding yourself in the color red is going to nourish this root chakra. And if you do any sort of meditations or intentional work around healing and balancing this chakra, you would want to bring in the color red. Each chakra is also associated with different elements which make up our world as we know it. So this one's associated with earth. So you're thinking of like soil, grounding, being outside with your bare feet on the earth. That's going to reconnect you to your root chakra and balance that. And so when I say balance, it's making sure that your chakra is open into giving and receiving, because we don't want to be too open, too closed off. And that's where we'll start to see disharmonies and imbalances show up physically or emotionally. Then there's also crystals that you can use. If you haven't gotten into crystals yet, I don't think it's a prerequisite for being into essential oils. But I don't know, as soon as oils came into my life, crystals kind of made their way in there too. And I really didn't try to be that person. It just all happened kind of quickly. But I really love crystals. And if you haven't had an opportunity to go to a high quality, like good crystal shop in your area, I highly recommend grabbing your favorite oil friend and going on a crystal day and just picking out ones that resonate with you. You don't even need to spend a lot of money. You don't need big hunkin' crystals. You can find little ones that are really affordable too. But if you're specifically looking for ones with your root chakra in mind, think of red crystals as well, like ruby, garnet, red jasper. And there's specific oils that are going to match the vibrational frequency at which those parts of the chakra go into balance. So each oil, just like everything on the planet, has a vibrational frequency. And so when these oils that come up for the root chakra make a lot of sense, because if you've smelt these before, they're very earthy, woody, like cedar wood. Vetiver, I feel like that is like a very earthy oil. And so you can apply these oils directly to those areas. Probably on more sensitive skin, you're going to want to dilute a lot of these oils in a carrier oil and make your own roller bottle with a blend in mind for those specific chakras. You can also apply it to the bottom of your feet, and you can diffuse it to still get the benefits. There's specific organs that go along and coincide with the chakras. So these make a lot of sense because where they physically show up in the body is located near the chakra center. So the root is associated with our reproductive organs, along with our sexual vitality, our legs, our hips, and our back. So the root chakra, if it's out of balance for any sort of reason, you might have physical symptoms show up, low back pain, low sex drive, pain in the hips and legs. Those can all be a sign that the root chakra needs some attention and being loved up on. So there's also a mantra that you can practice and say to yourself, write it around your house, put it up on sticky notes. And this is the entire purpose of this root chakra, being security and that right to be and to have. And so the mantra is, I am a divine being of the light. I am peaceful, protected, and secure. So that's a little snippet of the root chakra. And usually as these develop, so they go along with our lifespan. So the root chakra is the first one to develop. And so if there's any sort of like trauma, at this point in the lifespan, during like when you're in your mom's belly or throughout those first stages of life, this can ripple effect throughout the lifetime. But the thing that we're learning more and more, and that we had probably been tapped into a long time ago, is this sense of an ancestral healing that we're doing. And so if we experienced something in our lifetime, like a trauma, we can pass that down to the next generation if we don't heal from it through our DNA. And there's just even more and more research coming out on that. So we can also receive that too. So if our ancestors pass that down to us, it might not even have been that we had something traumatic happen. It would have just been passed down through our lineage. So we'll move on to the sacral chakra. This is a little bit higher up. So like that sacrum area on your lower back, which is just below the navel. And another thing I didn't mention, as we apply oils topically, you can apply them on the front of your body or the back of your body, along your spine or on your belly. Both going to be effective. And energetically, that's where these chakras show up, front and back. So the purpose of our sacral chakra is our authentic creation, being ourselves, being creative. You don't need to be a Martha Stewart to be creative. We're creating all day long. It's how we show up. It's how we express ourselves, whether you have a garden or you cook or you put it into your work or into your family. Like, we are creating all day long, and it is about showing up and being authentic. This is also what drives our soul fire and gives us that determination and drive. And there's also a correlation with sexuality and that creative sense of creating life. But then also just sexuality in general. So like I said, location is just below the belly button. The color associated with this is orange. And this can be interesting. Sometimes people, when this chakra, and this goes for all the chakras, if they're imbalanced, you might have like a really big aversion towards the color. Same thing we say about those oils that you don't really love the smell of. It's usually because you need them, right? Like, I always felt that way about cypress, and cypress comes up almost every time for me when I do an iToby scan. So it's about wanting to match that vibrational frequency that your body is not used to, but it's craving it. So if you find yourself like, I really don't like the color red or orange or whatever, it might be a sign here that we need some balancing done with those chakras. The element associated with it is water. Think of those like orange crystals like citrine, and the oils associated: black pepper, cinnamon, cypress, which, by the way, my sacral chakra is usually the one that needs work. So this is what made me think of that with cypress. Tangerine. And in our body, it's going to show up physically with the reproductive organs, the pancreas, and intestines. And that's just about in that area where it's located as well. So if it's blocked, it can look like things and show up physically as a stiff low back, kidney weakness, constipation, muscle spasms. And the purpose also of this chakra is going with the flow. So thinking of that like creative flow, and when you're in the zone, that's when this chakra is in harmony and it's balanced. Being able to go with the flow when different adversities are brought your way and different challenges, and just being able to show up and be mindful of how you respond, and not so much so that you're resisting what comes your way, but just working with it and pivoting where you need to. The mantra is, I am authentically creating a life free of stress and bliss. So just a little bit above that is your solar plexus, and your solar plexus is slightly above the navel. This has to do with our power, our self-worth, our confidence, and, just thinking about how we hold ourselves in this area, right? And how we even a lot of times, especially as women, how we feel about that area of our body, really from the root right to the solar plexus, right? That's usually where we're like always told to suck it in, or we're self-conscious of those areas. So the more that you embrace that part of yourself and love up on that part of yourself, you're going to see that shift in your own power, in your own self-worth. But then also too, physically, when we have a strong area there, we've got those strong muscles, it's going to protect us. It's going to make us stronger so we can work with that power even more so. The element associated with it is fire. In that traditional Chinese medicine, Eastern philosophy, we want to keep our belly warm. That's why we love to wake up and drink the warm lemon water. We want that fire in our belly. And we can bring that fire to ourselves by using the oils, by using crystals that have that vibrational frequency. Think of your yellow crystals like amber, topaz, citrine, calcite. And then our yellow oils, bergamot, cassia, clove, fennel, grapefruit, juniper, wintergreen. These are all great oils. Something that I was going to mention at the end, but I'm just thinking of now, if you're like making your list, sometimes you can find that the blends that you already have some of these in there. So like, if you don't need to necessarily go out and buy every single one of these oils, look at what the ingredients are in your blends. You might already have some of these. What comes up for me right now is like Slim and Sassy has the grapefruit and ginger in it. So that would be one that you don't need to go out and buy if you already have that blend. So just be mindful of that too, because if it's in your blend, you're still going to get the benefits in that frequency. So solar plexus, think of stomach and spleen and your liver and gallbladder. Physically, they're located right there. And those are our organs a lot of times associated with our creativity and our self-worth. When we start to think of it, the stomach and the spleen do so much for us in the way of transforming our food into our vital blood and our substances that we need in our body. The liver and the gallbladder really have a lot to do with the emotion anger. And if you think about like that sense of self-worth and power, and a lot of times when we think of anger, we think of control. And if it's not harnessed well, it can lead us where we're giving up our power. We're not thinking of ourselves as worthy, and we might turn to toxic substances like booze and junk food to make us feel better or feel more in control or have that power, or give up that power. So, when we start to work with this from this holistic perspective, it just makes a lot of sense where we can shift our mindset and shift our response to what's going on around us when we start to tap in and look at all of these different ways that we can just holistically approach our healthcare and our emotional response. And it's not to say that we need to bury any of our emotions or look at them as a burden, but to have them, express them, and then it's like, all right, what can I do so that way the next time the situation comes at me or something like that, where did I learn here? And when you don't bury those emotions, you have that free flow throughout your chakras. But I will say that using the oils and the crystals are a great way to give you tools of empowerment. So it's not about burying these things down and just covering them up, right? Because we don't want to cover up our symptoms. We want to get to the root, and this chakra system can really help us work with getting down to the root cause of a lot of stuff. So if we see things like digestive difficulties, diabetes, nervous exhaustion, food allergies, you're going to want to love up on your solar plexus. And the mantra that you can give to yourself and do it out loud or write it around your house: I am powerful, confident, and successful in all my ventures. I absolutely love the heart chakra, pink and green, two of my favorite colors. I don't know, I love, this is where our physical and our spiritual self start to come together. So we're right here in this heart center. We're rooted right in our physical body, but then we have our emotions and our spirituality, and this is where they come together at the heart. So this is all about our love, our joy, our inner peace. And I know that every single one of us need that, right? Like we all crave and love and the joy. So this is going to be right over your heart area, your heart region when you're applying your oils. Think of too, like a lot of times when we're closed off, the first thing we do is round our shoulders forward. You know, when we're down looking at our cell phone all day or in a group of people and we're just closed off to what's going on around us. So the crystals that you can use to open up and balance your heart chakra: rose quartz, emerald, those are great ones. And the oils, think of some of these oils as like very uplifting, right? Cardamom, eucalyptus, geranium. You're going to see the florals like ylang ylang, lavender a lot of times, lime, peppermint, rose. If you haven't experienced rose, rose is the highest frequency oil, right along there with frankincense. And the rose oil is a beautiful oil to open up your heart, to bring that frequency of love into your life. If we have a blocked heart chakra, we'll see things like heart attack, high blood pressure, difficulty breathing. Insomnia is a big one, right? And like how many times when you have things that are wearing on your heart that you lose sleep at night, or you don't sleep, or you can't fall asleep. And so looking at those symptoms that show up in our life, not as a curse and the victim mindset, but how you can shift into that higher frequency and how you can support yourself and deal with what's going on, but also have the tools like oils and crystals and the mantras to just help you recognize and open up to what's going on. So this is, I am giving and receiving love effortlessly and unconditionally. Our throat chakra, I'm sure all of us have experienced that feeling of a closed throat chakra. I know for me, if I'm holding something back or I'm in a stressful situation, I can feel that lump come up and I'm like, why do I feel like I'm going to cry right now? Come on, I'm stronger than this. I'm sure we've all at one point or another had that come up. And if not, maybe your throat chakra is wide open and send me some of that energy. So the purpose is communication, self-expression, the truth, and being able to hold secrets. So we'll find that right in the center of our neck and throat. The color associated with it is blue, and you can actually wear your crystals right over this area, right? Like heart and throat chakra, those are great ones to wear on a necklace because you can put it right over the area. And again, this all has to do with intention too, just like with the empowerment, we're putting the intention into this. So oils, birch, lavender, and oregano are three of the ones that we see come up the most common. And our organs associated are the parts of our body that are associated, the thymus and thyroid gland. So I don't know about you, but back in the day, I used to spray toxic perfume right over that. Thank goodness, not anymore. So we don't want to do that. We want to put really great high quality oils over that area. And, you know, even putting the crystal with your necklace. So if you see any issues with a thyroid come up, usually hyper is more common than hypo, skin irritations, ear infections, any like inflammations in the body around that area, and back pain. And the mantra is, I am speaking clearly and truthfully with great ease. Moving right along, we're almost done. Our third eye, this one to me was like the most, this is like the most heard of chakra, right? Like we talk about our third eye. It's located right in the middle of the forehead, pretty much like in between your eyebrows. This is all about our intuition, that inner knowing, imagination, wisdom, your ability to make decisions. And so if like you're indecisive, sometimes this can be that we need to open up or we've got a blocked third eye. The color is an indigo and the element is light. So if we think about like indigo crystals like amethyst, blue quartz, lapis lazuli, I think that's how that's pronounced. And the oils associated, clary sage and lemongrass, which if you blend those two oils together in the diffuser, it smells so good. You just need a couple of each. And this is what helps us govern our senses and our thought. So you can see here, we've made that shift sort of like out of the physical body. And this chakra is more so associated with how we interpret the world around us, right? Our sight, our sense of smell, our hearing, that's all associated, taste, with our third eye. And so we all perceive these things differently, but the more tuned in we are to our senses, the more present we are, the more aware we are, the easier it is going to be for us to make decisions, right? And to take our own intuition and our own inner knowing because we have confidence in that. If it's blocked, it can show up as headaches, blurred vision, blindness, eye problems, and this really comes down to our right to see. In this book, I'm going to go off on a slight tangent. I know it's getting late. In the book, though, they go into this thing about, because it gives like background on why these get blocked early on. And I just thought this was so interesting. So it's pretty common, though, for kids to need glasses growing up. And the theory in there is that if you need glasses as a child, it's due to a blocked third eye because you saw the truth, but you were told something different. So we'll just use a really like quick example, like Santa Claus, right? And if you have kids in the room, but if somebody tells you that this is real, but then you don't have the proof, or you figure out on your own like what the truth is, and I'm using like something simple, we have probably much more traumatic examples that can show up as a blocked third eye. And needing glasses in childhood is an example of you were told something, but you saw something different. That's where I was going with that. I am tuned into the divine to follow the path towards purpose. And our last chakra, the seventh chakra, is the one that's floating above our crown. This is our awakening, our connection to spirituality, purpose, our higher power, our highest self. This also has to do with cognition and our thought. The color associated is like this violet white light. And I thought this was really cool. Herkimer diamonds, crystals, like what a cool thing right in our area, right? If you're from upstate New York. Clear quartz, amethyst, the oils, high vibe oils here, frankincense, helichrysum, melissa. If you haven't done the Melissa challenge, you should. You'll probably have some emotional stuff come up, but whoever invited you tonight knows about the Melissa challenge, so you should get in on that. Lemon, Roman chamomile, rosemary, sandalwood, these are all great oils. And if you look around, you'll find that some of these oils are blends, single oils in blends that you might already have. So this is our connection to our creator, bliss, the sense of knowing and peace. If it's blocked, it can be in the sense of migraines, headaches, depression. And the mantra is, I am one with my higher self and one with the divine. So I'm going to turn it over to Ayla. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with the chakras, and I'll come back in a few.
I'll have you just go ahead and mute the background noise that we have going on
Okay.
before I get started. Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about Reiki, the tip of the iceberg for Reiki. It's basically an ancient form of energy healing. It was originated in Japan, and it uses what's called a universal life force energy. And anyone can harness this energy. You just have to go through a series of attunements through a Reiki master, and then you're able to practice. But anyone can receive Reiki without having to do anything besides be open to it. And it's definitely not a one size fits all. So everyone's experience certainly isn't going to be the same. Some people experience a lot of different emotions while they're getting it. Some people just find it very relaxing and healing. Other people can feel what I would describe as cords actually being pulled out of their energy centers. But it can help with a whole array of health problems that Britt was just going over. And it's very energizing and balancing to the mind, body, and spirit. So the practitioner basically uses a series of hand placements over the different chakras and other parts of your body. And typically they can detect intuitively which chakra is blocked. Other times they'll use a pendulum. But what can really enhance your Reiki experience is the use of oils. So we know the benefits of aromatherapy. So just having a diffuser going in the room, or the practitioner can have them on her hands while she's working on you. And they just help with bringing us to the present moment. We want to make sure that we're in the present moment and we're not thinking about yesterday, we're not falling asleep, but we're just merely being present. And they really raise the vibration for us to be able to heal. So rose essential oil, like Britt said, is vibrates at 320 megahertz, and frankincense at 147 megahertz. So you're probably wondering why I have the supplements here on the lower right. And I'm just bringing it all back around to having a foundation of health. What we eat and what we put into our body also has a frequency. So, the leafy greens and stuff like that we eat have a frequency upwards to 170 megahertz, whereas when we're eating processed foods, they can have a frequency as low as 4, which is pretty low. And we are susceptible to sickness when our bodies are at around 58 megahertz. So when we are in a healthy state, our bodies are vibrating between 62 and 72 megahertz. So being very mindful of what we're putting into our bodies will help us heal faster and stay in a healthy state. And what's really great about these supplements is they also not only have whole foods are jam-packed with all the antioxidants that are also high vibrating, but they also have the 9 different essential oils in them, one being frankincense, which if we're not all consuming daily, we should be, because of its healing benefits on a cellular level are just amazing. And that's really all I have. That's just like kind of a short little intro to Reiki. So I'm going to have Britt guide us through a mini little meditation to end our night.
Awesome. Thanks, Ayla. That was great. If you haven't experienced Reiki, highly recommend. And that might be somebody else that you can even share your oils with if they haven't started using doTERRA already. So if you want to join us, we're just going to take a moment to balance and open up our chakras, and then we'll bring them back down. But ideally, you want to have a straight spine and be comfortable, not so that you're going to fall asleep. But if you could sit with some part of your body touching the floor, whether it's your feet or you sit with your butt right on the floor. If you got your oils out, you can apply some of those to the bottom of your feet or just inhale them. If you've got your favorite crystals by you, you can do that. You can just go right ahead and close your eyes. Relax your jaw. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale out your nose or your mouth, just bring your shoulders down. Take another deep breath in through your nose, all the way down to the base of your belly. And release that air out your mouth or your nose. And let's take one more deep breath in together and we'll get started. And let it all go. So we're going to breathe in the color red to our root chakra, bringing intention to the base of our spine, breathing in a sense of security and safety, breathing out anything that doesn't serve you. And just focus on bringing the color red to that area. And keeping your eyes closed, you can breathe in the color yellow just below your base of your belly button. So you'll bring in that color yellow to your navel area, exhaling anything that doesn't serve you. And each time we breathe in, we want to breathe in to the base of our belly, but we'll focus on the chakra that we're putting our intention to. So we're breathing in that color yellow and creativity to the area just below our navel. Exhaling anything that doesn't serve you. Next, we'll take a deep breath in through our nose, focusing in on the area just above our navel, bringing in the color yellow. And with that, we're bringing in our control and our sense of purpose into the world, into that solar plexus. Breathing out anything that doesn't serve you. Take a deep breath in as you invite the color green and pink into your heart center. Exhale, and as you breathe in again, breathe in love and joy and inner peace into your heart center. Next, we're going to breathe in the color blue, and we'll breathe in that color blue to our throat chakra. Exhale, and next time as you bring in that color blue and you breathe in, your right to speak and to be heard. Continue to relax your shoulders and your jaw. As you breathe in the color indigo, breathe in your intuition and exhale anything that no longer serves you. Exhale and let go those negative thoughts. And now we're going to breathe in the color white. And as we breathe in the color white and we bring in that balancing energy to our crown chakra, we're going to exhale anything toxic, let it all go. And to continue to encompass your entire body, being, and outside of you with this healing white light. Now we've got our chakras open, and it's time to shut them down a little bit. So that way, as we go on with the rest of our day, we're aware of our chakras, and we go into the night, we're aware of our chakras, but we're not wide open. So that way we're going to take in too much. So we want to shut them down to protect ourselves. So we'll take in one final deep breath together, breathing in that white healing light. And as we exhale in gratitude and love, you can slowly start to loosen up, blink your eyes a couple times as we come back into the room. So thank you all for joining us on that little quick guided meditation to bring some awareness to your chakras, and hopefully you're feeling nice and relaxed and you can go into the rest of your evening in that state. We do need to bring it all the way back around because we've given you all of the steps and all of the ways that you can balance your chakras and be intentional with your own self-empowerment and healing. So we do want to mention that there are some amazing enrollment kits, and we were trying to think and to be intentional with these. So if you're brand new to doTERRA, you can, and you love the chakra stuff, you can incorporate these oils into your life. And if we go back and think about those colors that are associated with the chakras, we'll see that there's also a correlation a lot of times with the colors that the oils are themselves. So this enrollment kit is a really affordable way to get started with quite a big collection. And the Lulu's diffuser is one of my favorites. It's very aesthetically pleasing. It fills a large space, and you can start to diffuse some of these oils, turn them into roller bottles. I know in this one in particular, Balance and Adaptive are two wonderful oils for supporting mood and mind, and would be a great way to raise your vibration and to get grounded. And we, as always, with doTERRA, we have the highest standards when it comes to quality sourcing, and that all comes back to what we're putting in and on and around our body that's going to either raise or lower our vibrational frequency. I was just looking in the chat. So cool. So this is a great enrollment kit to get started if you're brand new to doTERRA. If you want to clean up your entire life and house and home and products and those your daily body care products, this is a wonderful kit to get going with. In that sense, I wish I started with this kit because I get the supplements and the oils and the toothpaste and the hand soap, and it was within a year that I had purchased all those anyways. So it just makes sense as far as economically, most bang for your buck. And when you get the enrollment kits, that $35 startup fee is waived. So that way you have access to the wholesale pricing like us. And there's no commitment as far as like any other spending that you need to do. But when you want to go on and buy again, you'll continue to get that 25% off. So I really wish I started with that kit. Get with the person who sent you to this class tonight. If you are brand new and you have questions on kits, there's other ones out there, but just those are two of our favorites and we thought coincided the most with our class tonight. If you already are a member and you want the wholesale perks and you're buying monthly, or even if you're not buying monthly yet, it's a great idea to get in the customized wellness box, the loyalty rewards program. Every month I spend $100 in oils because I am a wellness advocate, but also because I've replaced all the things in my house and I love diffusing in the oils. So it doesn't take much. And now every month I'm earning anywhere from $30 to $40 to put towards my next order. So it's a great way to just cash in on that. It's the smartest way to buy. And you get access to things like the free product of the month. So some things that you might want to add to your LRP. This picture is awesome because if you haven't been introduced to the emotions oils line, it's a great line that you can use. And a lot of those oils we talked on tonight are actually in those blends. And then you can like use those blends with the intention that you want more peace, or you want to bring cheer and like love and things like that into your life. And then the picture above has in the order of the chakras that we talked about tonight. So balance being the root, and then going all the way through peace would be your crown chakra. So just cool ways that you can be really intentional with your oils and working with your chakras. Rose oil is the most expensive oil that doTERRA carries, just putting it out there so you don't have sticker shock. But if you start saving up your points that you earn from LRP, then you can make rose worth your while. It's worth your while anyways, but I'm just saying it's a good way to get around spending maybe too much. So that's pretty much how we're going to wrap up tonight. Just another great image of oils that you can use with different chakras. I know a lot of us have these already, On Guard and Wild Orange. If you haven't been introduced to bergamot yet, you need it in your life. It's amazing. And so on. So this is a great image if you want a screenshot, or we can send these to you. And then just to keep you in the loop, we do these classes every Wednesday, but we also have a 101 class that runs every Tuesday at 7, and a health and income class Tuesdays at 8. So next week on the agenda, women's hormones. I believe Sandy Lombardi and Wendy are going to teach that. And Sandy is amazing. She'll learn a lot from her. So yeah, that's our presentation tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll stay on if anybody has any questions. So thanks again, Ayla, and everybody else for hopping on tonight.
Great job, Britt. Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
I have a question.
Yeah.